Good morning once again, boys and girls, and as always, thank you very much for being here on Adventures of the Broke and Retired. It's my second video to do today. Actually, this is my third video to do today because I did the first one, posted it, got some comments on it, was real happy, and then, I don't have any editing capability, so I was trying to figure out a way to get pictures to you. Add some dimension to the stories, add some reality to the stories. So I've been trying to figure out how to get pictures to you. And I figured it out. Without editing, I figured it out. And you can look at all the pictures you want, and I don't have any of them. Anyway, so the second time I did it, first time I did the video, second time I went to go do it, I got bit by the storage bug again, which I'm hoping, I think I've got it. I always think I have it fixed. I'm hoping that I have it fixed. It appears as though I have it fixed. It's not an iCloud problem. It's a storage problem. So this is video number 3. The second one I lost because after sitting here talking to a camera for 8.5 or 9 minutes, it just blink, you're done. And without any editing capability, I can't save what's there and then hook it together to continue on with something else. I've got to start over. So that's what I'm doing, starting over. So anyway, I've told a lot of stories about Charlotte Street, Charlotte Street. Wait a minute. It's much better with that screen turned off. I've told a lot of stories about, or feel as though I've told a lot of stories about Charlotte Street or Charlotte Street, whatever you want, when we lived down there. And this morning, while I was sitting here talking about it, I was making the video, the one that I just released. Sneakers in the bee jar, something like that. I had pictures come up in my mind that were so clear, and really they were so nostalgic, so beautiful, so friendly, so welcomed into my memory that I really wanted to be able to, I wanted to be able to show you. And the only way that I could do that was to print it off of my skull, which won't happen. So I figured out how to do it. So this is what I did. You see this right here? Look, it's Kilroy. You see this right here? If you Google that, now in my camera, this is showing up backwards. So I'm not sure if you're seeing it the right way or not. Right now I'm looking at it, so it shows up backwards. Charlotte Street, Canandaigua. That's how you spell Canandaigua. Nobody knows how to do it, or very few. If anybody sends me a comment and has spelled it right, I instantly congratulate them, because unless you've been there, you can't spell it. You don't have to put the state behind it because there's only one Canandaigua in the entire country. So you put in Charlotte Street, Canandaigua, and as it turns out, you can pause it right here and write that down if you want so I can take it off the screen. But as I found out this morning, there's some houses for sale on Charlotte Street. So what you can do is you can look at those, you can go to the sites where those houses are for sale. Of course, you could buy one if you wanted to. But you can go to the street view. If you go to the street view, it gives you the opportunity to rotate the view 360 degrees. And you can go up and down the street. And it's beautiful. It's so close to what I remembered. It also shows the entrance. You can also see the entrance to Sonnenberg Gardens. It's so close to what I remembered. It's so beautiful. It's really nice. This morning I was talking about across the street from the house, all around Sonnenberg Gardens, there's a stone wall. The stone wall is kind of thick. It's different heights in different places. But the top of the stone wall, I think it's made of limestone. And the top of the stone wall is pointed stones, right? I guess to make it hard to climb over. Uh, and you can see that stone, that stone wall is in incredibly good condition. I mean, it's been there. I think Sonnenberg was built in the 1860s, late 1860s. I'm not 100% sure. But the stone wall is in great shape. And the house that we used to live in is still there. Um, if you want to see it, you can't read any of the addresses on the houses, so it wouldn't do you any good to give you the address. But if you want to see the house, there's one house on the street where it's kind of up on a hill a little bit, and it's kind of close to the sidewalk. But at the sidewalk, where the concrete sidewalk stops on the house side, there's a little 12-inch tall retainer wall with a little garden in there with some flowers and stuff in it. But that's the house we used to live in. Now that retainer wall wasn't there; it was just a hill down when I was a kid. But that's the house. That's the one. It's in fantastic condition. Can't see it real well from the pictures because there's so many trees around it. It's kind of hard to see. But it's still there and it's in fantastic shape. And it looks like it's still a double house. And it was extremely nostalgic for me to look at those, to get those views. Now, when you look at the pictures today, at the south end of the street, the lower end of the street, there's on the left side, on the north side, right? On the south side of the street, be south, see if that was south, north, either way, on one side, on one side of the street, there's an empty parking lot at the intersection of Gibson Street and Charlotte. When I was a kid, that was a florist. There was a big, huge greenhouse right there, and it was a florist. I don't remember the name of it, but that's what it was. It was a florist company right there. And then inside the stone wall, you can't see it very well, but it looks as though there's a house inside that stone wall. And that, when I was a kid, that was an armory. It was a military facility. They had a bunch of Jeeps and trucks and army stuff, Of course, I was a kid, so a little boy. I was fascinated by the army stuff. I remember trying to get up over the wall so I could see the army stuff. I couldn't get over that wall. But that's what it was. What it is now, I don't have a clue. It kind of looks like it's hard to see because the wall's in the way, but it kind of looks like a 60s ranch style is what's there. I don't know. I don't know if it's a private residence or what it is now. It also shows the gates to Sonnenberg. The gates are open in the picture, but it shows the entranceway to Sonnenberg. And it gives you an option to go up and down. I didn't do it, but it gives you an option to go up and down some of the streets in town to get a look. Canandaigua is an absolutely beautiful place in a lot of ways. I'm very sorry to have left, but in as many or possibly even more ways, I'm glad I didn't stay there. Opportunity in a small town, basically opportunity in a small town when I was there was go to work at a factory up in Rochester, up in what we call the city, which was a 22 or 25 mile drive each way, depending on where you were going. During the wintertime, it was extremely difficult. The traffic was always very bad. I did work in a couple of factories. Factory life was not for me. I'm going to have to tell you the story. I'm going to make a note. I got to tell you the story about the place I worked. Let me make a note about this real quick. because I worked up there. Excuse me, should have used the pause button. I worked in a factory for a while. And factory life, if you've never done it, factory life is pretty strange. It was a company that made porcelain insulators for telephone poles. And the repetitiveness of the job was just incredible. I don't know if the place is still there. It's been a while since I've been up there. I got to tell you, I need to tell you the story about scaring Amy in my truck, too. I hope that's already on the list because I don't feel like pulling it out to make another note. I think it's on the list. Amy and I were riding in the hills one day in my truck up there, and that scared her a little bit. Anyhow, so if you go here, right, you Google that, it'll bring up some houses that are for sale, Zillow and places like that. And then you go to Street View, you can see what I've been talking about. And it's just, it's interesting. Of course, I've already got the pictures, but it's interesting to put the pictures with the audio, you know? It's interesting to put the visual with the audio. Gives you an idea on what I've been saying. Anyway, it's 12 minutes almost. I got to get out of here. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you coming by and stopping in and watching the videos. Thank you. I was outside out in the living room talking to Amy just a minute ago, and she said, you better get some editing capability pretty quick. Quit making all these little pieces. So I'm going to have to do that. Anyhow, thank you very much for being here. This is Don with Adventures of the Broke and Retired with his old buddy Elmer the Remote. And I'm going to have Elmer zip us out of here.